Most people, when moving to France, worry about taxes, visas and paperwork. And yes, those things do matter. But sometimes you can be surprised when you least expect it. There are some weird rules nobody mentions. Rules that still exist today, rules that are sometimes enforced, and rules that make you stop mid-sentence and say, hang on, that can't be right. So today, as it happens to be the 1st of April, I thought we would do something a little different. I'm going to show you 10 strange rules you can still encounter as a homeowner in France. Some are practical, some are historic, and some are, well, very French. But here's the twist. One of them isn't true. See if you can spot which one before the end of the video. So, let's start gently. In the communes of Sarpenux and Cugnal, hopefully I'm saying that right, the mayors issued official decrees stating that residents are forbidden to die unless they already have a burial plot. This wasn't philosophical, it was administrative. Both communes were blocked from expanding their cemeteries, so the mayors responded with legislation. And the most French detail of all, those decrees were never repealed. They are still officially on record. So, if you plan to pass away in either commune, a little forward planning is strongly advised. This one surprises a lot of people. In many villages, particularly historical or protected areas, drying laundry outside where it is visible from the street is restricted or discouraged. Not because it's dangerous, not because it smells, then again, because it's considered visually disruptive. The innocent line of socks and underwear can technically clash with local aesthetic rules. And yes, in some cases the mayor can ask you to remove it. France is perfectly relaxed about tractors, church bells and roosters at dawn, but visible underpants, that's a step too far. Trees feel timeless. French boundaries law is not. If a tree on your land is too close to the boundary, too tall, or dropping branches or leaves, or its roots are popping up in the neighbour's property, your neighbour can legally demand you to prune it, and in certain cases, take it down. Even if the tree is beautiful, older than both of you, or clearly part of the landscape. French law is very precise about distances and heights. A surprisingly number of long-running rural disputes don't start with money. They start with a tree that someone has been quietly resenting for years. Number 4. You don't have to own a historical building to face restrictions. If your property sits within sight of a listed monument, the Architecte des Bâtiments de France may have a say in what you can change. That includes shutter colours, roof materials, solar panels, Velux windows, satellite dishes, etc, etc. In places like Saint-Emilion near Bordeaux, even modest houses can fall under very strict control. The house may be yours, but the view belongs to the tourists. Number 5. France takes colours surprisingly seriously. In Roussillon region, facades must stay within the ochre tones. In Colmar in the east, colours must respect traditional timber framing. And on the Ile-de-Seine on the Atlantic coast, pastel tones only are allowed. These aren't stylistic suggestions, they are enforceable rules. Choose the wrong shade and you may be asked to repaint your house at your expense. Taste is personal, regulations are not. Number 6. France has what's often called a sensory heritage principle. If you move into the countryside, you must accept you're in the countryside. Roosters, cows with bells, church bells, frogs and tractors. If the noise existed before you arrived, it's protected. Absolute silence is not guaranteed, but character is. Number 7. Here's one people usually learn the hard way. If your neighbour cannot maintain their wall, gutter, hedge or roof without stepping onto your land, you must allow access. You don't get to refuse. It's written directly into the civil code. Most people discover this rule when the doorbell rings, and the neighbour is standing there with a ladder and a very calm expression. Number 8. Rural tranquility runs on a schedule. In many communes there is no mowing on Sundays, restricted hours on Saturdays and enforced quiet periods during weekday lunch hours. Use a lawnmower at the wrong time and the response won't be shouting, it will be a neighbour quoting the local bylaws, and from memory. Number 9. Near the salt marshes of Gironde, homeowners are still subject to regulations that date back centuries. They govern drainage channels, earthworks, access paths and even where materials can be stored. These rules predate modern planning law and are to protect the salt beds from pollution, and they still sit there quietly. In France, history doesn't disappear, it gets integrated. Number 10. And now the one worth waiting for. In Châteauneuf-du-Pape, a municipal decree from 1954 bans the landing of flying saucers and what the text calls flying cigars. Yes, flying cigars. The mayor introduced it during a wave of UFO sightings to protect the vineyards, and once again, the most French detail of all, the decree was never repealed. So if you're planning to arrive in France by UFO, you need to choose a different wine region. Now then, earlier I said one of these rules wasn't true. So which one did you pick? The UFO decree? The ban on dying? The rooster noise law? Well, here's the twist. They are all true. Every single one. Welcome to France.
Oh la la.
So there you have it. 10 strange rules that still exist in France today. Some are practical, some are quite absurd, and they're all part of history. But if you're buying, renovating or settling into French life, they all share one thing. They all still exist. And knowing them in advance is always easier than discovering them by accident. If you are looking for a property in France and want to avoid getting caught out, feel free to scan the QR code on screen here or click the link in the description. Then fill out some details and I can help you in your search. And as always, don't forget to click the like, subscribe and bell buttons for me. Helps me get those videos out there. I'm Dan Newton, the French estate agent. À bientôt.